Ladies and gentlemen, welcome to another episode of our newest show, Lazawal, Ishq, where we invite contestants to find... I'm your host, Aisha Omar.
Nice.
Raheem, that's
I wasn't expecting that, but good.
That's what I wanted to discuss. So that's one of the topics I want to discuss today.
One of the many topics we'll be discussing.
Many topics that
so
we have.
much has happened since then, but
and we
yes.
haven't had an episode in the middle. A lot has come up. There's been...
Love Island.
Pakistani Love Island. Oh my God, dude.
No, it's good.
So you saw the promo that they
I haven't seen the promo, but I've been catching, the heat it's been getting in the press, of course.
Yeah.
And then, of course, the censor board saying that it's not going to be running. The government saying that, this will not be aired.
It's not going to be aired on a channel, but it's going to be on YouTube.
It's going to be on YouTube. Yeah. And the thing is that that's another thing we'll be talking about again today, about sort of how you are being watched. But we'll get to that in a second. But I think, and we may as well just start off with this topic as you've introduced it. It is highly hypocritical. I mean, we know the kind of shit that goes on in Pakistan. Let them do it.
Let them do what they want.
Let them do whatever they want, man. Get over this. You know what? Look, listen to me. I mean, a man with a beard is saying this. Yes, it's the Islamic Republic of Pakistan. Please. Ditch these what's it called? This religiosity. Enough is enough. Let sort of alcohol flow in the bloody streets. I mean, I'm not advocating for this.
You're going to get stoned.
Let me get stoned.
You
I don't mind. Listen,
stoned.
I'm an extremely conservative person, as you know. Yeah. But I'm sick and tired of this, oh my God, ye kyun ho raha hai, ye kyun ho raha hai. Yeah, go out on the streets and see what's happening.
Raheem, see, the issue I have is
please,
that
go
I
ahead.
still cling on to that
Falsely.
maybe old-fashioned notion that the state, media, movies should have a moral lesson and also shape morality.
No. I mean, sort of,
right?
This is not a nanny state, even though this is a nanny state. This is a nanny state.
It is a nanny state, but
our next topic,
I understand how infringing on freedom of speech and this and that.
I couldn't care less about freedom of
But
speech.
look, our society, right? There are values that we have in Pakistan that I think are worth nurturing.
I roll my eyes at that very thing because the thing is that Pakistan is so removed from those values, right? We stopped being that Islamic Republic many years ago. It is simply religiosity that is fueling this country. I don't think that in our daily actions, Pakistanis can claim in any shape or form to be sort of paragons or sort of exemplars of the religion. So I hate...
Yeah, but Raheem, look, I mean, the way, at least Islamic morality, for example.
Sure.
Okay, the way it's been, and if you look at, say...
That's why you have Minder.
Yeah,
you have the Muslim...
Let me finish a sentence, okay? So the way that Islamic morality has been shaped, and traditionally through 14 centuries of history, is that you don't publicize what is considered sin, or you don't make a thing of it, right?
Absolutely.
And if in here you're showing relationships we know that this happens all around us. This happens all over the world.
Human beings, just wait. Before, for those of you who are unfamiliar with the show, what is the format?
The format is it's Love Island.
It's Love Island, Pakistan.
Filmed in Istanbul.
Oh, it's filmed in Istanbul.
It's filmed in Istanbul.
Man, I could have signed up for this. I've never been to Turkey.
You are a single man.
I'm a single man, and I've never been to Turkey. And
Raheem's looking. So if
I'm looking for a free trip.
I thought a wife.
No, a free trip.
Okay.
A free trip beats a wife any time of the day, man. All expenses paid. Okay. So it's filmed in Istanbul.
Yeah, so it's filmed in Istanbul. It's 4 people. They're just constantly they're in a mansion, and they're being constantly filmed and surveilled. So that, I think, in itself is
that leads to sort of
and my reason for discussing Lazawal Ishq was not morality, not
no, I get that,
right?
and
the point that I wanted to get to, right, and we can talk about
absolutely, no, go for it.
Morality is where we're going because of reality TV. Right. Reality TV, especially the first show that comes up is Keeping Up with the Kardashians, and that really shows the Real Housewives of Beverly Hills or something like that. I think so, there's something to say about the fake idyllic life that you see of other people in movies and on the silver screen. These are stories, right? That
but
are being
do you not think
when it becomes reality, right? That's where like you could keep this distance that there was a movie, you would see, glamorous people on that, and then you could go back to your real life and live like that. When you're seeing other people's real lives and you're not being, I think there's a huge impact that has on society. And when you're seeing that people in their real lives are doing, strange things, or are abusing drugs, or are, things that are detrimental to society.
Tell that to Ducky Bhai.
Yeah. Oh my God. Don't even get to
Actually, the point I was going to make is that Pakistan has had a piss poor record at trying to sort of replicate reality TV here.
Yeah.
I mean, we had Shark Tank. Was it good? Was it bad? I don't know. PTV is launching its own Pakistan Idol. They're doing it.
Really?
It's. I saw a promo the other day. So we've had a really bad record of I haven't even seen good indigenous reality TV from Pakistan.
What was that show by Vakar Zaka? Right?
Roadies? No, that was an Indian one.
That was what was his show? I've forgotten it. But where he would dare people and
exactly.
Like
I think it was
I think that was the only indigenous
attempt at it. But sort of, I will watch this show if only to make fun of it and to see who these guys are.
I'm going to tell your mother, okay? No.
Probably she's watching this right now. It's not live, but.
Yeah, I mean,
I get where you're coming from.
Yeah, and it just reality TV. Like the reason I used to, and this could just be me.
Yeah,
I watch shows like The Deadliest Catch because this was a dangerous job that
Deadliest Catch. I watched for 15 seasons, but then I realized that most of the captains were like MAGAs.
It takes a certain type of person to put his life at risk. Okay?
Like Keith Hillstrand, like going to the Russian border with his AK-47 and just firing at the air. I was like, yeah, man.
So the issue is that I wanted to watch things like that.
Yeah.
Documentaries where. And it explains, their lives, the type of mental stress that they go through.
Of course.
And that I find to be entertaining.
Yeah, absolutely.
But there is a certain level of a huge amount of entertainment that you see in shows like Keeping Up with the Kardashians and Lazawal, Ishq. And I'm not saying it's not going to be popular.
What does Lazawal mean?
Lazawal means eternal love.
Oh, eternal. Okay.
Right.
Okay.
Apparently. Now, what I'm saying is that it's not that it's not going to be popular. There is a lot of
pre-hype.
Yeah, pre-hype. People are going to watch it through the roof,
exactly.
You see how much.
It's going to be a success darling. Like it's going to be a ratings darling.
Right?
Yeah.
But I think this is what it's come down to. People for views will do anything.
But
now.
Here's one thing, and I think then we can move on to our next topic. Now I am completely divorced from TikTok. Like I have no idea what's going on there.
Here.
But a sort of bastardized version of reality TV exists in the Pakistani TikTok community.
Yeah.
I mean, there are people from all stratas, and I'm not judging them. Good for them, right? Smartphones and all of that stuff has sort of democratized this stuff. Good for them. But the kind of stuff that's going on TikTok is, I think, it would make people blush compared to anything Lazawal Ishq will ever do.
Yeah, I guess so. But
the kind again, as I said, I do not know what goes on. I am aware of it, right? But I've never been sort of like, I don't follow it. But I know a lot of stuff goes on TikTok, man.
Yeah, no, look, I understand.
And that's more reality TV than Lazawal Ishq will ever be.
The only argument I put here is, and maybe I'm just thinking out loud, and maybe it's just my conservative upbringing and whatnot.
Or maybe it's because your mother's watching and she'll beat you when you go home.
Love you, Mom. And what it could be is just, those things. But
I get it.
On TikTok, you are an individual doing what you're doing, right?
Okay.
There's no institutionalized studio behind you. There's no Aisha Umar presenting this show. It's not like I don't know.
I think it's almost. I think it's the same, honestly.
I think it's very different. I think we're putting in an effort to promote this type of.
But on the one hand, like fine, you've got sort of like a money, you've got like a production house, you've got like a big name attached to it, and then I don't even who is producing this. I don't know.
No idea.
Right? And then on the other hand, you have sort of individuals doing this.
Satan is producing this. It is the devil himself. No.
And on the other hand, you have individuals doing this on TikTok.
Yeah.
They are both equal.
Yeah. I mean, I would
presenting.
To disagree on that point.
Sure.
I think individuals don't have the level of.
They do, man.
That
kind of numbers TikTok does.
I think it's the endorsement from an institutionalized studio, or just the fact that there are a group of people.
There's always been this undercurrent. There's always been this undercurrent for greater freedom.
Yeah, for sure.
Sort of, and I'm not saying greater freedom like in the sense that freedom of speech or something like that, but greater liberalism
But I think it goes back to your point. We have not produced an indigenous reality show that is of any real quality.
Any caliber.
Any caliber, right?
Forget
something that
forget reality TV. Show me one good Pakistani TV show.
But I think one really good show that has had is I wouldn't call it a good show, but it's something that has captured the imagination.
Okay.
It has been the expose show that guy does.
Oh,
in
but
Karachi.
the dude,
Yeah.
Not Shahzeb, no. What is his name, man?
It's not Wasim Badami. It's one
No,
of these
no,
guys.
it's one of that. It's that guy.
Yeah, but we know. So shows like that, right?
Yeah, for sure.
They kind of, and they also carry like a positive message at times.
Yes,
right?
absolutely. And I think that some good has come from that show.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
There have been a lot of frauds that have been exposed that way.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
So, and even then, at times that can be manipulative, and we've seen people abuse that format quite a bit. But it's still something that I think that is a reality TV show.
Speaking of exposés, and this is now something that keeps many a housewife and home baker like myself up at night, is the alarming cost of butter.
Of butter.
Now, I'm bringing this up because the thing is that we have the government trumpeting this thing that yes, inflation.
It's because we're buying all the guns, so that's why butter's.
We have the government sort of peddling this thought, or at least trying to sell this on us, that despite the economic hardships of the past 3 or 4 years, somehow or the other Pakistan's rebounded, inflation is kind of down even though the dollar is up, and we finally turned over another, like a new leaf, right? I'm not going to mention this brand because the thing is that we are not yet sponsored by them, but the day we get sponsored by them, I'll be singing their praises. But
their price of butter will be just right.
But I couldn't believe this. I mean, 200 grams of this butter is costing right now 780 rupees.
Oh my God.
And I was lucky enough to
780 rupees.
780 rupees. I mean,
that's a lot of money, dude.
It's an alarming amount of money. Like, again, I mean, now you've firmly pushed butter into that luxury category. Right? I mean, during Biden's era, sort of eggs had skyrocketed for some reason or the other. Remember?
Yeah.
And like eggs were apparently a luxury. But apparently now in Pakistan, butter is a luxury. And I was lucky enough to find this because I checked on CPI, which is, of course, the Bureau of Statistics Consumer Price Index. But I couldn't be bothered to go through that thing. Mm-hmm. But thanks to this guy on TikTok, Mr. Hussein El Adrous, he actually did the things and he's gotten bills from the past 4 years.
Okay, wow.
So as of May 2023, the same brand of butter cost 420 rupees.
Okay, wow.
420. This is May 2023 when the dollar was at around 280 or 282, right? Cut to 2025, September going on October, the dollar is at around 285, 286. And that same 200 grams of butter, which looks radioactive, by the way, if you ever look at it, it has this sort of Simpsons yellow color to it.
Does it glow in the dark?
It kind of does. Okay. And it is 780
The question
rupees.
is, once you have it, do you glow in the dark? Right?
I need to check that next time. It's 780 rupees. According to this guy now,
that's like an 80% increase, right?
80%?
It was
420 and now it's 780.
Yeah, so
so about an 80% increase. So now the thing is that one thing that Pakistan has had a woefully poor record on is consumer protection. Mm-hmm. Brands, whoever they may be, arbitrarily increase their prices, and there's no mechanism to address consumers' concerns, right? Because yes, we understand that whole sort of narrative is going around that Pakistan, inflation, the price of the dollar, so on and so forth. We've been hearing that for years now, right? But the thing is that if you're producing butter, right? Mm-hmm. I'm assuming all of your ingredients are Pakistani, like the cows are Pakistani, right? Probably, right? If all of these things are Pakistani, why then are we paying this much? Number one. And number two, and this will be something maybe that concerns you more than me. This same sort of arbitrary price hikes happens to cars as well.
Oh, absolutely.
Right?
Yeah.
There is no one to question these people. there is no way to address the fact that, yes, we understand that maybe, for example, 50% of your, sort of the raw parts or something are coming in from abroad or stuff like that.
So, Rahim, there are mechanisms, but they're really inefficient mechanisms, right? So one of the purposes of the market is to determine, find the best price. I mean, the assumption is that people will not buy expensive things and they'll go for the cheaper alternative.
Yes.
But then if you have cartelization or cartels in your system or monopolies in your system, they can dictate what they want, right? Or they can come to agreements. And roughly that seems to be and there's really no way of breaking those as you have.
Do you think also, Ovais, like, for example, as you said, I mean, sort of it's the market that should be reacting. So, for example, if the price of something goes up, the market rejects it flatly and says, no, we're not going to be paying that. We'll be going for a cheaper alternative.
Yeah.
But do you think also that the market, being Pakistanis, somehow or the other, we say, okay, even if a Corolla maybe 10 years ago was for 20 lakhs and now it's for 60 lakhs, I'm still going to buy one.
I think a lot of it does depend on that. Because look, where do people invest their money in Pakistan? If you want to invest your money so that you can get a good return, you're not buying stocks necessarily.
No,
There's some people who do that. Not a lot. You buy land. Right?
Yes, yeah.
And the price of land has been going up forever.
Yeah. Because they don't make any more of it.
Right now the market is down, but you can still, sell whatever you had, 2-3 years ago at a profit. Right?
Yeah.
So I think that's where their buying power comes in. So when you're buying like a big ticket item like a car, right, it's going to be at the expense of you selling a piece of land or something like that.
Sure.
Right? So if you're pegging your wealth to that is also increasing. But it's only increasing for people who are land owners.
Yes.
Right? And the vast majority of Pakistanis are either not landowners or have very small parcels of land or land that is not appreciating, like perhaps agricultural land or at the same rate that urban land is increasing. So I think that's a huge issue over there. When it comes to pricing, another issue is that I think there's a psychological impact of constant increases, where psychologically you can't settle like. Like when you told me 780 rupees, I had no idea that it was 780. I buy regularly. I buy butter.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
But for me, it was still somewhere around 500.
Somewhere around 500. It's a psychological. Yeah. Exactly.
So you can't settle, and then when you make a budget, like if you make a rough budget in your head, okay, I'm going to spend this much on groceries per month. That 500 is the figure. So when it goes up by, say, 15-20%, you just assume, because there's so much flux in the market and prices and inflation, that you say, okay, this must be an assumed cost.
Yeah.
So I think people are willing to pay more because they're too confused in society.
Right.
And there isn't enough stability in market prices for you. And that's the same when it comes to cars. You're literally willing to pay anything right now. Yeah. Another thing is the local manufacturers cartel.
Yes.
Where they ensure that foreign imported cars are they're very high duties.
Although I think yesterday, in a conversation between the IMF and the government, I think they okayed the import of 5-year-old cars.
Okay, that's interesting.
I believe, I think that's as of yesterday or today that happened.
That's interesting.
Yeah.
The issue that comes about is that either you produce a car which is good enough compared to imported cars, but an imported car at this point is always better than a car that is assembled
made in Pakistan,
or made in Pakistan, unfortunately, right?
Yes,
even the same car, like if you get a Corolla from Japan
compared
infinitely better, right? The welds on it are better, the construction, how it's put together. And so I think that is also an issue. Either if you're making the government charge such high duties, you produce a car which is of quality that people can buy.
Sure.
Right? And they keep it high that way so that the domestic car, they can increase the prices. I think that's also an issue. Look at car prices in India, for example. I mean, they're nowhere near. Even though India's currency is something else, but they're nowhere near the prices here. So I think those are factors certainly there. There's another issue that I wanted to discuss, and that was related. Sorry, did you have more to discuss on this?
No. I was just no.
What I wanted to discuss was my favorite issue, which is cricket.
I was I was going to introduce this as a new section.
Ovais Anwar's rants on cricket.
No. Not just Ovais Anwar's rant on cricket, but just generally, I think, sort of as a part of the Sideshow, at the end of each episode, we are going to christen a particular persons as our turds of the week. Turds of the week. Right. So I think I'm going to say this out loud because as somebody who doesn't care two figs for the Pakistani cricket team, I declare them, at least for this week, officially the turds of the week. Take it away, Sam.
Rahim, I don't know if I'd go that far. Yes,
No.
They've been disappointing. I wouldn't call them.
Obvious.
They still have a tournament to finish. Okay.
On this very page on the strangers, you have discussed ad nauseum.
I have spoken the obituary.
Exactly.
The eulogy.
But yet, for some reason or the other, the Pakistani cricket fan still retains this glimmer of hope.
Because we are masochistic.
You are. You absolutely
are. Harming. That's
and the very fact that you have said that, yes, their performance has been disappointing, it's like you talking about an errant child.
It is an errant child.
No, Wes.
It is a child who has
been
abused.
25 years of this.
It is a child who has been raised in a cage.
Wes, I gave up on
the PCB being that cage, and this Mohsin Naqvi, the PCB chairman, being.
I gave up on Pakistani cricket after the '99 World Cup.
And
so it's been 26
you did well
years
for your mental health.
So 26 years, you guys have been suffering.
Okay.
Now go for it.
Listen.
Tell me.
Pakistani cricket is part of our DNA right now, and we can extricate it over a few years, but I don't want that to happen. The reason being that we have so much talent in this area that we can do that. I think what's happened is that, one, it's been badly managed. We've discussed this in other podcasts. We don't need to discuss that over here. The other issue is something that, third of the week, fine. But what's happened in cricket over the past week, where India refused to shake hands?
Yes.
You sacks of shit.
Absolutely.
Like, who the hell? There's something. Basic. It doesn't reflect on Pakistan, or you trying to be calling us a terrorist state. What was it? Our cricket team that did this?
No, I think that if they had such objection to this, don't play the match, forfeit the match.
The problem was they came.
Be men enough.
It became a $15 million.
No, that's what I'm saying.
And it was punishment for other matches. Like we would not.
That's
get
what
to
I'm
play
saying.
In other tournaments.
Be men enough that if you to forfeit the match. But no.
But also what you have right now is an exceptionally hostile ICC. And it's always been hostile. But right now you have Jay Shah, which is the scion of Amit Shah. The number 2 man in the BJP. He is one of the more horrendous human beings in the world. And I don't want to shame people based on their looks. But if you're inward...
Okay, wait, I need to see this guy. Jay Shah?
Jay Shah, you need to see a picture of him. It might be flagged as, dangerous for viewing. But if your outward actions are as bad as you look, then I think it's completely fine to criticize one. This man is one of the objectively most ugliest human beings I've ever seen.
Okay. I will tell you where that sort of source of displeasure comes from. It's from his wig.
He wears a wig?
Can you not tell?
I don't know, man.
Please, how can you not tell that this is a wig?
That's a wig?
Dude, this is a toupee, man.
Well, anyway. Well,
look at this guy.
Anyway, it's only getting worse for him. But anyway, forget that.
I can't forget that.
Look, this man single-handedly is promoting India in the worst bullying fashion, right? And Pakistan is the way to do it. He's trying to make his daddy proud by finding ways of screwing Pakistan over.
I'm sorry. Jay Shah.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah.
My bad. I'll take that back. He's wearing a wig, for sure. So this piece of shit, like he should be the turd of the year, right? This guy, he uses the ICC. Whenever Pakistan complains, they reject our complaints with this Pycroft issue where...
Yes.
Why is the ICC endorsing a violation of the rules of the law?
I was going to ask you this.
Principles.
When India did what it did, they refused the handshake. We, of course, obliged by not shaking their hands either.
No, what are we going to do? Run after them?
No, of course not. I'm not saying that. After that, what's it called? The PCB lodged an official complaint to remove Pycroft. Yeah. Was that in order?
It was summarily rejected, right? It was dismissed outright. Then Pakistan, what it tried to do was try to create problems by not showing up on the field for the next match, because Pycroft was officiating that one as well.
Right.
He was the match referee, which is separate from the umpires. Right? He's the guy who officiates and ensures that the overall rules of the game and things are work. Now, the thing that Pakistan objected to was shaking hands is part of the spirit of the game.
Oh, it's sportsman spirit, man.
Exactly.
It's professional.
And it's part of the code of conduct.
It's part of the code of conduct,
that you do not behave in a manner that is against the spirit of the game. This is clear cut to them. Now, the thing that I have a problem with is that India again and again is allowed to break the rules. Usman Khwaja for Australia, when he came in, he wore a black band.
You stole my thunder. I was about to say that when he was wearing that guy was...
They punished him for it. Like
they came down hard. They came down hard. So essentially...
But when the Indians were wearing camouflage P-caps, right, so that they could endorse their army, then it's completely fine.
So essentially the Indian cricket team and board is the Israel of the cricketing world. They can do whatever they feel like and get away with it.
So, and the reason for that is the money, right? So
Yeah.
the BCC generates the most money. He's currently president of the ICC.
ICC,
right?
yeah.
And this is a rotational thing and whatnot. So these guys, the other thing is that the unspoken influence that has, because they are such bullies and they know that everyone knows that they will punish you if you don't toe the line. I feel it's having an impact on the game. There was a catch, Fakhr Zaman's catch in the
Was this in the second match?
In the
when
second
he was
match.
by the boundary?
Yeah. No, not by the boundary. This is there was a guy.
Oh yeah, I saw that with the ball. Yeah, I saw
and
that
it
one.
Bounced in front of him.
Everyone saw that. Everyone saw
and
that.
There was enough doubt, right, that the batsman.
Everyone said that. Everyone said that.
Everyone said that. The commentators said that.
Yeah.
And even the Indian commentators had an idea. They were sheepishly.
They knew something
exactly,
was.
Right? And in such a situation when you
miss.
did not have other camera angles, right? And you are supposed to give the benefit of the doubt to the batsman. He did not.
Yes.
And I think the reason for that was the fear that there could be repercussions from the ICC, or that we're not going to get another match, or we're not going to. And strange things start happening when India is playing cricket.
One second. You've said your piece, and I understand that there is, I would say, justifiable sort of anger and resentment towards Jay Shah, who spent quite a bit of money on this hairpiece of his. Or at least
it's the money of the people of India.
It's the money of the people of India. Or because the thing is, there's an apparent article on this. Jay Shah's hair transplant journey from balding to bald.
Whoa.
Damn.
And rather bald over. No pun intended anyway.
But I have to say this. Okay. Jokes aside, the chips are stacked against us. We get it. Why can Pakistan not perform? We have gone through every possible iteration of this useless. I was going to say something, but then I know your mother watches this. Of this useless team. We have gone through coaches and head coaches and selectors and managers and Gillespies and Gary Kirstens. We go through them like spare change. Like, honestly, like underwear.
Look, Rahim Khan,
Pakistan, okay, they beat Sri Lanka yesterday. Big deal. And then this is a statistic that I overheard because I do not watch these matches. But unfortunately, because my father loves to watch them, I hear it from what's it called, the drawing. I hear it from their room. Of, I think, the past 15 engagements that we've had in T20, we've only won 3. Jay Shah might be there right now. I mean, this
you're right. He's
gargoyle of a man.
He is not responsible for our bad performance.
Exactly. Right? I think, and I will end it on this note, and you can sort of rebut me if you wish. For what they did on the first day, refusing to shake our hand, blah 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 blah, that, rejecting the Pycroft thing, the best answer, wo jo Urdu mein nahi kehte muh tod jawab, was for these losers to win the match.
You make a valid point.
Where you had that guy, okay, we were so concerned about what's it called, the ball, it went into his hand and all of that stuff. You know how that is, right? The typical.
Yeah.
What about that dude who was on the boundary, the 6 that was, I don't know who hit that 6. He's just standing there. And then he's like,
Yeah. So Rahim, I think, look, this
thirds
is a
of the
much
week. I'm sorry.
All right, I'll agree with you on that. Cricket requires stability in management. And I think that is a critical aspect that we have not had. Also, it needs focused attention, and we're not giving it. When your Minister of Interior is also the PCB chairman, that's not how you're going to do it.
No,
and it also needs. We desperately need to depoliticize cricket, right? These former cricketers who come in and start pushing their weight around and doing things like that. I think, man, it's sickening, right? I think there's a lot of people who have a lot of talent in Pakistan. Secondly, we're going through a phase
that's lasted 26 years.
It's lasted a long time, I agree, but it's not. It's not that. We have great players who need to be nurtured, and I think it's going to take time for them to gel together. We've had good teams. Literally, some of the same players have performed very well.
Always, I have seen Naseem Shah perform better in advertisements than I have on the pitch, and I don't even watch cricket. I am, as the kids would say, the biggest noob when it comes to cricket. And yet I see this guy putting in more heart, more dedication, more energy into his ads than I do see him on the pitch.
That's fine, and I understand your point there. I just feel that...
You're being too kind.
What other option do I have?
Give it up.
Also, I think we need to give credit where credit's due. Despite a lot of them saying some really shit statements recently, the Indian cricket team is a phenomenal team, right?
Yes.
No, I mean, if Australia has a tough time defeating them, then why are we talking about Pakistan? Oh, has never been able to beat them.
But see,
We are a weaker team, right? And why are we a weaker team? That is a separate discussion. I don't want to discuss that anymore. We have so much things to do. I have children at home waiting.
Sure.
Move on. Rahim Khan, what did you want to discuss next?
So, we had a couple of things. And I think that the most sort of hot topic issue, which at least here in Pakistan will not get us cancelled, is of course Charlie Kirk.
Yeah.
There's a lot to talk about, a lot to unpack, from the assassination itself to the aftermath. Continues to this very day.
Yeah.
I think we can start off with the assassination.
Absolutely.
And for example, for Charlie Kirk, let's start off with
They got him.
They got him. Who got him? We do not know.
We don't know.
But for Charlie Kirk himself, Charlie Kirk was a reprehensible, vile human being.
He was an Islamophobe. He was
a racist.
A racist.
Let's not even give him these qualifiers. He was
Christian
an Islamophobe.
supremacist.
He was a racist. I do not wish death or anything like that upon anyone.
Absolutely.
But I mean, sort of a man like that, given a pulpit the way he was, lionized by the White House.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, the White House.
He was a reason.
Flags. The White House had flags at half-mast.
Are you serious?
Yes.
Shit, dude.
When the president of a country, right, orders the flags put down at half-mast, and this is half-mast is usually for people of sort of national standing,
like Edie got a state funeral,
or for example Muhammad Ali,
yeah,
or somebody like that. If somebody of that caliber were to go and do that, you would understand it. But Charlie Kirk was a two-bit hack, one step above Alex Jones, right? And the thing is that how or why this happened, we may never know. Right?
Yeah.
I remember, I think in the very first moments after the assassination, and the comment sections are always a great place to get a feel for things. Yeah. Somebody said this, and I was like, there's a lot of merit to what this person has just said. They said that the shot was taken from, I think, almost 600 meters away.
No, I think it's 200 meters.
200 meters, right? It's 200 meters away. The shot lands at sort of, I think, the neck, almost with the carotid, the artery is, right? To do that requires at least somebody of some skill.
Yeah.
This isn't the 22-year-old, I think Tyler James Robinson is his name, who appears to be in a relationship with a transgender individual. This is not that person. I'm sorry. There is no way in hell somebody who does not have at least some military training could not have done this. I'm not saying that this is a conspiracy theory.
No, I agree.
But for example...
There are a lot of unanswered questions here. I was watching a clip from... I don't do this usually, but there was a clip of Joe Rogan who was discussing the conspiracy theory around this.
Yeah.
He said that apparently the gun that they found that he used was his old grandfather's gun from the Second World War era.
Right? Okay.
And that a gun, unless it was really, taken care of by a gunsmith,
would not be able to fire with that kind of accuracy. No way in hell.
And he said, even though he said it's not very difficult to fire, it doesn't require too much skill. It certainly still requires skill.
Oh no, it requires something. And sort of like you and me just can't go up onto sort of
So whoever it is, somebody got him.
Somebody got him.
Right? But why did they get him?
Okay, now here's the thing which was going to lead me to next, because the thing is, then I was going to go to the manhunt, and why I was going to bring that up is that the person I'm going to mention next is now our runner-up for Turd of the Week.
Ooh.
But Pakistanis took that, so so now he's the runner-up, and that is the governor of Utah. The governor of Utah came on TV, and you guys can see this clip. It has been played endlessly.
This is the initial press.
The initial press. This was much after when they had actually found him.
Okay.
After the manhunt, because they found the bullets, which apparently had stuff written on it, and it was bizarre stuff. It was like the rants of an imbecile, but whatever. But the Utah governor comes on stage, he's there at the presser, and he's like, you know what, I prayed to the Almighty that the person who did this, who took Charlie away from us, was not from among us. I was like, okay, where is he going with this? And was perhaps from another state, blame it on the Californians, or from another country. Essentially, what he wanted to say.
brown Muslim.
He wanted a brown Muslim. Now,
He wanted a Rahim type figure.
He wanted a me. So essentially, I think ever since 9/11, and this is something that at least I know, whenever over the past 25 years, whenever there is a mass shooting in America,
the first thing I do,
I was like, please God, let it not be a Muslim.
Or what's his skin color?
Exactly.
Just need to find out if he's brown.
Let him not be black. Let him not be brown. Let him not be Hispanic. Let him not be Middle Eastern.
And in recent years, credit to crazies around the world, it's been white men.
It's been white men. Thank you.
Yeah.
You guys are not an endangered species, right?
I mean, you're killing each other.
You're killing each other. You're doing, I think,
this is white on white crime.
Exactly. But
anyhow,
he said this in that presser, right? That he prayed for this. Okay. Wow. We move on from that then to what's it called? Everything that has gone on since. So first of all, we will go with what the right is saying. People like Tucker Carlson, Candace Owens, and a lot of other people.
Yeah, Tucker Carlson, did you see his speech at the...
Yeah.
That was...
Go for it.
That was... So Tucker Carlson basically comes up and he's essentially rehashing the story of the
9/11.
Jews killing Jesus.
Yeah.
Right?
Because he's trying to. Now the thing is apparently...
Because Jesus spoke the truth. And so he was trying to make that analogy there.
Now, apparently, Carlson is putting out a 9/11 documentary.
Okay, wow.
In which... And this is just apparent because, again, the documentary is not out there. In which he does make links beyond the Saudis to Israel.
Wow.
To Israel having some hand or the other in perpetrating 9/11.
Wow.
And now the thing is that if you go and check out Candace Owens, if you check out all of these other people, they are saying that towards the end of his career and life, Charlie Kirk was breaking away from Israel.
Well, you can see it in some of the statements. So after he was assassinated,
Yeah.
Things come up on YouTube, they come up on... So I saw some of these clips and he's very rabidly pro-Israel, right?
Oof.
Rabidly anti-Muslim. But at the same time, he was saying that,
He's questioning.
You've gone too far.
He's
right?
questioning.
And I think if people like Charlie Kirk can say you've gone too far, people who gave a blank check to Israel for the longest time, I think that's really where you determine that the time.
Now this begs the question. If Mossad is behind this or is responsible for this in any way, what do they gain from this? Do they gain an American
silence?
No. It's silence for one, because, oh my God, this was so chilling almost. So Tim Dillon.
Yeah.
Right? So he's talking with...
Comedian.
Yeah, comedian, yeah. So he's talking, I think, to Alex Weinberg or Adam Weinberg, because there's this one guy. And they're like... This was a message not only to people like pundits, like Charlie Kirk, like sort of amongst those people, but this was also a message because apparently on their most recent visit, Netanyahu's most recent visit to the White House, shortly thereafter, the Secret Service on a couple of their vehicles found tracking devices. And I will link that into this because this isn't my conspiracy theory. This is what I caught from that Tim Dillon thing. And there was chatter going around. That this is in some way, this is like, this is this mafia tactics. Like, in The Godfather, finding a horse head in your bed. This is exactly what it is. Are we to look at Charlie Kirk's assassination like this? As a warning?
So when South Africa was going through the end of apartheid,
yeah.
Right, it started doing these desperate acts, like attacking other countries, much like Israel's done it started doing these assassinations and stuff like that. But it obviously, it's a very different context, right?
Yeah.
It did not have the type of influence in another country where it did. So extricating, say, Israeli influence from the US is going to be an immensely difficult task, right? And if at all, right? And if you speak to anyone, and I've seen a few interviews of ex-CIA officials, podcasts and stuff like that, they said, we do not trust the Israelis for one bit. We would not accept gifts from them. We would not allow them in our rooms because all they do is put a bug there. Or every single time we x-rayed a gift, it had bugs in it or it had a bug in it, sorry. And so, I don't think anyone should...
What do you think? Because the aftermath still isn't over because very shortly thereafter you had Jimmy Kimmel come on air on just like his regular thing, which these people do on late night talk shows where they have their bits. And what he said was, I think, almost entirely benign. Because, the case that they were trying to make, Trump, even in, I think, the very first moments after the assassination, they were like, oh, these are sort of Antifa, radicalized liberals who are doing this. And they were the ones who took Charlie from us, right?
Yeah.
And I mean, Kimmel was like, no. I mean, sort of like, the persons who may have done this were as radicalized as MAGAs themselves. That got him off air. Disney, which owns ABC, caved into Trump's demand because you had the FCC, the equivalent of our PEMRA, step in and say, no, Kimmel's got to go.
No, but that's also because the Disney is having this merger deal or something like that.
Lots of stuff going on, but everyone is kowtowing to
absolutely,
Trump.
Absolutely. Look, we would not be having this discussion if it was even another Republican administration.
Yeah.
This is basic freedom of speech in the U.S., right?
Which the Americans are very proud of.
Yeah, absolutely. And
freedom
that's
of
why,
speech, man.
That's why it became such a big shit show, right?
Yes.
That's why people kept on saying. Secondly, I think there's a lot of leeway that you have to give comedians because there's a lot of value in the jester's privilege to be able to say truth to power. And in a healthy functioning democracy or society. I'm not comparing it to Pakistan. We aren't that.
No. There is.
But in the US, which claims to do those things, you have to have people who can say
it's a pillar of the state for them,
things,
man.
Right?
It's a pillar of the state for them.
Absolutely. And I think comedians today are playing a role which the media should have been playing. So when you
which I think incensed a lot of these regular pundits, because remember in that Joe Rogan, Douglas Murray, Dave Smith one, where Dave Smith, comedian, but also sort of a commentator and stuff like that, and then you had the likes of that vile Douglas Murray. Right? Pathetic individual. But I mean, they were like, since when do comedians get to talk about sort of international affairs? No, as you just said right now, they've had to step up where the media wasn't able to do that.
Absolutely. And I think it started, it started a while ago, and comedians have always done this. But with Jon Stewart. He was the real pioneer who with his show, and he in Tucker Carlson's early days really took him to the watch when he was working at CNN. You remember that?
Yes.
He basically ended his career.
And
now Tucker Carlson made a comeback. But one thing in Charlie Kirk's defense, right? For all his faults, he had people like Dave Smith come on his show. And he did, have a discussion with him. That was happening right at the end, and people criticized him a lot.
Right. Yeah.
Especially Zionists and pro-Israel. We're basically saying, you need to, you don't do this stuff again.
I know, because the thing is that essentially when you start losing,
and he spoke of that.
You start losing people like this, because the thing is, Israel had already lost Carlson, Nick Fuentes, Candace Owens, all of these this Mount Rushmore of MAGAs, of MAGA pundits. They had already lost all of these. You had it down to maybe Charlie Kirk and a very a sliver of other individuals who were not at perhaps the level that Carlson is. I think that is something that would give them pause.
Who's that nerdy little shit? What's his name?
Which one?
The pro-Israeli.
There's so many.
There's okay, we're gonna have to cut this out, but I've completely forgotten his name. What's his name yet?
What does he look like?
He's got the yarmulke he wears.
Oh, Shapiro.
Ben Shapiro.
Dude, I have to say this. Fuck Shapiro.
Yeah.
Okay, Shapiro. I mean, sort of I cannot. I don't know how he's had a career with the voice that he has. Right?
Or the personality that he has.
Or the personality, because the thing is that he is definitely on the spectrum.
He's that persnickety little shit of
He's definitely on the spectrum.
And that boy has been bullied his whole life.
That's what I'm saying.
And he's getting back at people
He's getting back on his people through the mic. I mean, sort of he built up the Daily Wire, then he destroyed the Daily Wire, right?
So the thing is that cathartic watching that.
Oh, yeah. Shapiro is just, I mean, but look, if somebody like Shapiro does it, that's because he's Jewish, number one, and he's a Zionist. It makes sense. Yeah. But if somebody like Kirk is doing it, that appeals to the wider public, wider Christian public, because this guy was, forward Christian soldier type, right? So he's an ally.
Yeah.
Losing somebody like that gives pause to the Zionists, because then they're like, who do we have speaking for us?
But if he's turning, then what?
That's what I'm saying.
Because losing somebody who's been such a staunch supporter.
That's what I'm saying.
When he converts, that's a bigger loss.
Yeah, because the thing is.
So if we go by conspiracy theories, or any other such assessment, then it becomes problematic.
Speaking of conspiracy theories, and this unfortunately isn't one. This is a reality to which Pakistanis are now born to. You remember a couple of months ago, you had those internet outages. in Pakistan.
Yeah, where internet got really slow
Internet got really
it's
slow.
still really, really bad right now.
It got really bad. And the thing is that there was this chatter in the news, online, that surveillance is going on, but apparently something is being put in on the back end to further enhance the state's.
Sir, हम डैम बना रहे हैं. हम इंटरनेट पे डैम बना रहे हैं, sir.
And those have now been confirmed.
Absolutely.
Thanks to Amnesty International, which put this out, I would say, about 2 weeks ago. And understandably, there hasn't been much talk about this on the news. I think it was only Dawn that actually printed it on the front page. I didn't see it in the Express Tribune, or it was somewhere in the back.
Which just proves it's succeeding.
Exactly.
But yeah, so there is severe internet surveillance.
And
that is
I would
apparently taking place
strongly
in
suggest
Pakistan.
that everyone checks out this report. It is there for everyone to see. And yes, please go ahead.
And so Pakistan has not been a country that's traditionally done that, but I think the thinking in the security apparatus is that we need to have some control over what is shown to our people and stuff like that. And this fifth generation warfare and the discussions that
actually,
I
think it's more insidious than that. I think it's not really sort of them protecting us. I think it is a means as
No. I think that there are multiple sides to this. Absolutely. I'm just saying this is what the calculus is within the security establishment, that we need to have some level of control, but also influence what is said and what people are exposed to. Now, having
I think that there's one other element that I think is not being mentioned here, and that is what's it called? This is that surveillance and censorship. I can understand censorship, like for example, because we are taking a page from China on this with that great sort of firewall that they've established, right? I can understand that, where you're trying to sort of limit the amount of, say, for example, anti-Pakistani or anti-Islamic sentiment that is, coming in on the internet. Or for example, pornography, because Pakistanis just love that, right? I can understand that. But here, and the report specifically focuses on this, is on surveillance.
Yeah. Okay.
Right?
I understand. I was looking at it in a bigger thing.
I think
so there is what you put out there, but also what you are consuming, and
what is being said.
What is being said, what is being communicated.
Because
with the assumption that there's privacy to my conversation,
and there is none. Because the thing is, again, if you look at this report, it is very clear. At any given time, 4 million Pakistanis, you and I, well, not me, because I don't have a smartphone. But you, and 4 million other, and 3,999,000, whatever, other people like yourself
at any given time
are being surveilled. And this isn't like, for example, the Cambridge Analytica type metadata stuff, where it's just like this chunk of data.
This is my messages.
This is your messages.
This is my emails.
These are your emails.
This is what I'm watching on the browser.
This is all your browser history, your search history. And to, I think, an extent, this is also even the conversations that you're having.
Yeah, of course.
Right?
So they can hear the phone conversations.
Yes. Yeah. So the thing is that if you're communicating with somebody where there is no end-to-end encryption, you're fair game.
Yeah, so that is scary on
what do you say as a lawyer of this?
So no, this is scary on multiple levels. And the argument has been, so say they've done this in the US, this and that. I think each society measures its hierarchy of human rights in a different way, right?
Yeah.
So I think the right to privacy in the US has been given a lot of protection. They're very worried about that. So when the Patriot Act came in and they had all these warrants that were allowed to do that, that was a big issue. Right?
Sure.
And they built safeguards in it. In Pakistan, we don't have this. We've not had this long tradition of looking at privacy as an individual right.
Yes.
Like we have in our constitution inviolability of the home and the personal life.
But
it says nothing about email, your phones, your communication, and any protections that are offered there, right?
Yes.
Even in free speech, there are limitations that obviously are imposed.
Sure.
Things like blasphemy, but other than that, there are other restrictions, and some of them are justified, and some of them might be an encroachment there. But we have not really had a tradition of being able to regulate this area, right, of communication. And that's why now you've had this judgment by Babar Sattar, where he said, how the hell are people, how the hell are you doing all of this surveillance and stuff like that?
Right.
And so he struck down the particular laws, and then they made an amendment and basically gave intelligence agencies the power to do a lot of this stuff.
Right.
Having said that, you can create legal mechanisms and they won't mean shit in Pakistan. Right? The problem is lack of enforcement. How do you actually prevent an intelligence agency from tracking your phone? Or can the courts even extend their jurisdiction there because it's done in such a gray area? You'll never have a record of it, so how do you bring it to court? Those are serious, genuine concerns that come about. What becomes a real issue is when people are picked up or when people are, you have repercussions for what you've said.
Yes,
right?
yes,
Assuming that these were said in privacy. Right? Now, it's one thing that you're denied a government job, right? Because you may have said things critical to that.
Yeah.
That's one thing. That's, say, a security check. But it's another thing when you are, say, for example, a journalist and you're trying to publish something.
Right.
Or you're trying to do an investigative journalism and find a story.
Or say, for example, it's a conversation between friends over...
Friends or a husband and wife.
Husband and wife over Messenger or something like that.
Exactly.
Or some sort of like social media sort of platform.
The problem for me is, if this were converted into evidence, it was open, you could bring it to trial, and this person would then go through a legal process.
Right.
The thing is that none of this is admissible. What that means is, if a state entity,
even in Pakistan, it's not admissible.
It's not admissible in court. No, because you have to have there are mechanisms.
You have to have a warrant for this?
A warrant. The laws is problematic. You have to have a warrant, but you also have to have the Interior Minister. So the Investigation for Fair Trial Act allows for interception surveillance only if the Minister of Interior and a High Court judge gives you authorizes it.
Okay.
Now they've got, for terrorism purposes, they've also got 19C in the Anti-Terrorism Act, which allows this thing, but that hasn't been operationalized. There are no rules under it.
Okay.
So that's a separate issue. But the problem is that because this is not admissible, there's no urge for them to record the evidence or bring it to trial.
Right.
So how do you deal with someone you've determined to be a threat? It's the extrajudicial solutions. So it's only by enforced disappearances or worse that you can then deal with this, right? So that's where my concern comes about. That when you don't bring it into the legal sphere, I'm all for converting intelligence into evidence. Just do it through a legal manner.
Right.
And that is how the whole world has been fighting terrorism. Sadly, because of our own, bad legal drafting and bad laws, we've not been able to really implement that.
So essentially then, I mean, sort of if you're saying that this has no legal efficacy, or sort of cannot even be employed legally, then this is...
So the act of surveilling is legal. The act of bringing it to court...
But is the act of mass surveillance legal?
I mean, I haven't seen a law that allows that, but they're usually intelligence-related issues are not regulated by laws.
Right.
So you know that the intelligence, they have to do it to be able to secure the state, counter all of that stuff, right? So it's not really regulated by laws. There are countries that have laws that regulate this. So the CIA, for example, in the US, first of all, it doesn't have a mandate to do internal. It's all external. And then when you, even then, for internal surveillance, you have two mechanisms. One is that you get a FISA, Foreign Intelligence Security Act warrant.
Right.
And that too, only if the link is established with a foreign entity.
Right.
So then you can do domestic.
Right.
And the second is the Patriot Act. And Title 3, you can get a warrant to do internal things.
Right.
The thing with Pakistan, it is mass surveillance. And so it's not really the same. And it's not really governed by any real mechanism. There are no oversight or guardrails really on this, like parliamentary or congressional or types of oversight.
Of course,
And that is where the concern comes about. Not that parliamentary oversight has ever done benefit to anyone in Pakistan.
Right.
These are, I mean, your parliamentarians really don't represent you, they represent the elite, right?
Essentially, yes, or themselves.
Yeah, and so you can only hope to God that you are elite enough to be represented by them, right? So anyway, much has been said on this. This is, I think, a huge issue. The one issue that I wanted to just discuss here is,
of course,
you can record 4 million conversations. You're not going to be able to listen to all of them. So for that, we come to our next point, which is AI. Okay?
Something that has really bugged you in the past.
Yeah, it is. It
one bugs me for other reasons, but you go first.
Anyway, so you need either a really strong AI to be able to deal with this.
Yeah.
But let's put this aside. Let's discuss another issue. Okay. And that issue is AI and its many pitfalls. AI has really helped a lot of people. It's helped me in my research. It helps me analyze large chunks of data. It's beneficial there. But what pisses me off to no end is that I can't open LinkedIn anymore. And I used to love using LinkedIn, but LinkedIn has become this. It's just AI slop. I have done this. Let me put it in AI in ChatGPT and see. Give me 3 paragraphs. So if I want to know what people are doing around the world or the good that they're accomplishing, I have to read this generic language that is just. I know this person hasn't written it. He hasn't put in the effort for it.
Listen,
right?
I mean, sort of.
And I tried to use. I'm full disclosure. I tried to use AI to draft 1 or 2 messages, and it just came out so impersonal. Right?
No, because the thing is listen. I mean, sort of, unless, and I'm sure there are AIs out there.
Yeah.
I'm an illiterate on this subject, but still, whatever little I can offer. I'm sure there are AIs out there that in time learn how you speak, how you write.
Yeah.
Yeah, right? But ChatGPT, you can tell from a mile away.
Oh my God.
And the reason, I mean, sort of my brush with ChatGPT came when I was unfortunately teaching, and I will not mention the institution here, but I was teaching at an institution here. And I was presented with an essay, and I looked at the individual in question, and I looked at the essay, and I was like, there is no way in hell that you wrote this.
My God.
No way.
No way.
I mean, you can tell. Exactly. I was about to say that. I was like, I did not want to bring this down to like, this person's shuckle, but that is essentially what it was.
Now there's another discussion there. There's another point here. Is this a tool of egalitarian? Is it creating an equal society? Because
no, it is not.
There are those who can speak very good English with accents like yourself, Rahim Khan. There are others There are others who suffer career-wise or otherwise just because the language barrier, right? And I feel it is unfair for them. Now, ChatGPT allows you and that person to have at least some equal level of.
I see.
It fixes their grammar. It fixes their vocabulary.
But they should know. No, but that's not right.
Why do you think it's not right?
Because listen, if we are to believe in a meritocracy, if we are to believe that sort of like, you have got to where you have gotten based off of your hard work, based off of talent, based off of skills, intelligence.
Yeah, but that's not the case, right?
No.
You tell me what talent and skills allowed you to live in the UK for what, 5
None whatsoever.
7 years?
But then one second, none of that enabled me to be speaking so eloquently today. It did not. No.
Being educated abroad.
Compared to, and I will say
doing
this,
a master's abroad.
One second, my friend. Let me make my point. Compare me to my siblings.
Who are far better and more educated than you.
They are intellectual and
juggernauts compared to you.
I am the juggernaut. I am the juggernaut. They are minnows. No, listen to me. I put in the hard work. I am the one who actually reads. I'm the actual, look, I'm not here trying to make a case that, for example, if today I speak with a certain amount of wit or eloquence, or I speak with certain authority about something, that it was simply because I lived abroad. No, none of that enabled this.
I agree with you.
But here's the point that I'm trying to make.
I think.
Here's the point that I'm trying to make. The internet, these devices, have democratized a lot of stuff for people. But what I feel AI has done, it has, not to say that as students, we were always trying to find shortcuts, we were always trying to find ways to like game the system.
Yeah.
But the thing is that if now the bare minimum that it requires from you is for you to pick up your phone and say, ChatGPT, give me a 200-word paragraph or article on The Godfather, and boom, there it is. This means that you are. It's not even the path of least resistance.
Rahim,
it is the minimum amount of effort.
Yeah. So my argument here is is that how when you entered university, there were certain prerequisites that we expected. That you can write complete sentences, you can generally frame an essay,
which they can't.
An academic essay. Say we assume those.
Okay.
Things, right? That was the starting line.
Yeah.
Right? Now I'm saying that with AI, the starting line has moved ahead. We know that this person.
But it is unearned. But it is unearned.
So now the trick is that when you have to, so what is university? It's examining you on what you've learned and your skills and all of those things, right? Now the examination will be assuming that this person will use AI. How can we now test his ability and meritocracy created there?
But I think
it's how well he will use it and to enhance his skills.
But there is zero learning there.
Not necessarily.
I think there is. I mean, listen, again, sort of my most recent experience was about 2 years ago. Right?
Okay.
And I think I had so much trauma from that particular experience that I never returned.
Oh, wow.
Yeah. I mean, sort of, don't send your kids there ever. I'm not mentioning the institution, but please don't send your kids there. The point that I'm trying to make is that sort of, yes, it is an enabling tool. AI is right now an enabling tool. No matter how smart it is at the moment, it is an enabling tool. It does not work without the user.
No, of course.
Right? Its use or disuse or misuse is based, again, on the user. If the user is a dumbass, what do you expect you're going to get? Of course, then you're going to get this AI slop that's on LinkedIn that sort of tells these legends about these people, right? I mean, look.
These legends about these legends.
About these legends. Otherwise, there's a very smart way of using this. You could take what, for example, ChatGPT is giving you, take that, kind of reshape it to yourself, do that, and put it out there.
No, absolutely. And look, I'm not saying that we should not use it. We shouldn't.
No, use it by all means. Use it.
It has a great. It's just be smart about it. Be sensible about it for the love
Right.
of God, right? I think that's the second thing is when you go on, and you must have seen this. You look at things of graphic design and do all that, right? We see now Pinterest, for example. There are a ton of AI generated images that and that's not what you're looking. You're looking at how did an individual, for example, if they're designing their house, right? What effort did they put in to make that, and the human ingenuity. I don't want a computer telling me those things. So there is demand, I feel, still, at least maybe it's old school, or maybe this is going to die out.
No, but
but the real thing matters.
This is a point that I've been arguing, despite many people out there saying that sort of AI is replacing so many people in so many functions, and they'll be made redundant or obsolete or something like that. But at the end of the day, as you just said right now, if you were to sort of put into ChatGPT, give me, as we were discussing earlier on, give me, for example, Japanese style artwork of the ocean or a great wave. It would give you, right? Does it compare to the original?
No, nowhere near.
That's it. That is, at the end of the day, that's what it all boils down to.
But
that's what it all boils down to.
But it's very easily, one day, it could.
I don't think it can. I don't think it will. I think that until unless we do not have true AI, which we do not have at the moment, right? That we're just going to continue getting these fever dreams, these sort of ersatz versions. We're going to continue getting those.
Well, it's going to be interesting. Imran, what else do we have to discuss?
I'm not sure, because the thing is that battery is blinking at me.
Oh.
So
I think we should call it a day.
I think we should call it a day. I think that we've covered enough. And Yep.
And looking forward to another week of interesting things to wrap up then.
And to talk about. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much.
Thank you.